Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of Bravo We're Black. Kaya is still not with us, but we are still sending her well wishes. Hopefully, she makes a speedy recovery, and I'm excited for her to get back to y'all so she could talk about her favorite Bravo shows. But in the meantime, I have Francisco here with me to chat Next Gen, Housewives of Orange County. I know you guys seen they released 2 episodes. We thought it was just 1.
They got us.
They got us, apparently it was 2, and I must say I did enjoy it. Some people, I'm not too sure.
Okay, well, thank you for having me on, Erin, and sending a lot of love to Kaya. I can't wait for her comeback because I know she's gonna put on the sickest outfit because her
She
body is
is.
always tea, like I am so excited to see the storm of Instagram posts that'll come, that
You
is
know
to
it's
come.
coming. It
Yeah, so it's
is.
like I'm very excited for that. Yeah, as you were talking about, Erin, I really don't know a whole lot about like OC right now. It seems to be a little bit of a nothing burger, and I know we'll get into that,
Mhm.
but yeah, I'm not too sure about it. Like it is very nostalgic. Obviously, it's I think what people ultimately want from Roni, like they want that nostalgic old Roni, and with OC and Vicky and Tamra and Heather Dubrow coming back, like a lot of the key players that are hopefully gonna put us back into, that sweet spot era of Housewives, which I think is like what everyone is like after. But
I agree with that because even watching, which we'll talk more about when we get into it, but seeing that Vicky's back and seeing Shannon and seeing Tamra and seeing everybody, I'm just like,
I will say, I think that Vicky might be the missing component to OC. I think that she will really cut through a lot of like the chitter chatter that happens with OC. 'Cause
mhm.
that's what I'm telling you. Like a lot of it's just like a nothing burger, but I think Vicky is gonna at least hope or help steer the ship with Tamara because I feel like Tamara is like it's kind of like in Grand Theft Auto. I feel like when you had the cheat codes where like the steering wheel got really sensitive, like I feel like Tamara can like jerk the like ship in such ways that I feel like it's a little bit a lot because she is
Yeah.
like very feral like that. And I think that Vicky is gonna be more of a calming presence to at least be like, okay, like enough of this BS, but like at least let's see where us as a group can like let's see what we can do.
Let's see what we can do. And I think she's doing just that. Like, I'm so excited. I'm way too excited to get into it. So, getting into next gen,
Yeah.
you've been watching from the start, right?
I dibble dabbled in next gen because again,
Mhm.
I think when it comes to new shows, it has to, appeal to me. And I think that although I was very excited to see how Ariana, has grown up and how she has blossomed, like after Kim Zolciak being on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, like I was excited for that, but it didn't like pull me enough to continue watching. I think because you had those really polarizing characters like Charlie and Georgia, and it just like it wasn't very appealing to me. But I will say, after watching, excuse me, the last couple of episodes, this is a really great show. I think I get the point of it now. Like, I think that is a little bit of an issue when it comes to like the Bravo viewers, is like how we sometimes try to view like certain shows under like lenses of other shows. Like you can't watch OC the same way that you can't watch like Atlanta or Miami because like each show has its own dynamic in like the group scenarios that like sometimes I feel like I was trying to watch that show, maybe like a housewife show when I was like, no, this is like its own league. But I do think that I wasn't watching Summer House as much as I am now. So that could have also been the missing component as well as like having another example of like a show of a more younger crowd that is just like we're just following them around instead of like Housewives, which is like a certain type of formula, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Cause watching Next Gen, it's a different vibe. We're seeing the
Mhm.
kids, we're not seeing the moms. But I think that's what kind of ties the show together because we do have
Yeah.
those moments where we're seeing Meredith come through, we're seeing Candy come through, Candy Burris. Um,
And I
and
feel like this episode is been like, I mean, between Atlanta, um, having the connection to Riley Burris, it is a little bit of a sad time right now, I think, as a Candy apologist, because I really loved Candy when she was on Atlanta Housewives. I think that a lot of and I know that we're not talking about Atlanta, but it's like, I think that a lot of the complaint that people had about Candy in terms of like, she doesn't do anything, she just shows up to collect a check and like, just throw her faces and like chuckles and like, you know, she's gonna collect almost $2 million in a salary, is I think to me what like Phaedra and Portia are doing a little bit because I think that eh, um I think that they have found that like it is really an easy paycheck. Like a lot of these shows, like you just have to show up, like go to group dinners, like have fun, like and learn how to find like frivolous things to fight about so that you can just like, get your endorsements, get your money, and then like keep it going. And I feel like Phaedra and Portia have gotten like that a lot. So that is like my connection to it by like what people would say about Candy
Yeah.
and like when she got off. But
But the only thing, and I'm glad you brought it up. We can venture into Atlanta. This is a show, guys. So
sorry, I think that again, it's like I keep comparing it to OC, unfortunately, because I think OC again, it's just like a nothing burger. But at least with Atlanta, like you have a little bit more, but a lot of it is just like the same thing over and over again. Because obviously, like again, you just have to like show up to his group scenes, collect your check, and go home, and like you really don't have to like disclose a whole lot, when it comes to certain things.
but I think that's happening too much to a point
Hmm.
where it takes away from the authenticity of the
Yeah,
show. Like,
yeah,
because in Housewives of Atlanta, the scenes were just seem more organic. And now we're not getting that. We're not
yeah,
getting that. It's just you sleep with Nigerians,
yeah.
you sleep with somebody's
There's
husband, like just
yeah,
throwing
there's
random bullshit out of nowhere
yeah.
that doesn't even stick. I mean, is it entertaining? Yes. Am I watching? Yeah. But, you know,
I think it's funny when you have like again Angela and the way that her mouth is able to just come up with like some of the best like insults and just how creative she is. Like when she told Brady that she had miles on her mouth, like you have stretch marks because you have miles on your mouth. Like that was ridiculously funny. Like I watch that when I am sad because like that just makes you laugh. Like that whole
it's
entire like
good.
action. Yeah. But yes, again, as a candy apologist, this episode is a little bit hard because just of the way that Riley ended up acting at the end of, the second and third episode. And even like the TikTok that she posted, um, kind of like breaking her silence, quote unquote, like it was just kind of like, oh, like kind of like what we saw in her apology to Georgia, like just like you're not really saying you're sorry, but you're just like, I'm apologizing for my actions. But it's like there's like,
Yeah.
like that it's a little bit of like a dicey apology in my opinion. So again, it's just hard to see. But I am glad that we are having something else other than Charlie like terrorizing these poor people. Like they make it seem like Charlie's gonna kidnap them at some point. Like
Yeah, that's how it's becoming. Charlie is this dangerous character that nobody necessarily wants to be around, and everybody's just talking about him, but
and
in code.
yeah, and to me, Charlie is like the guy from the Fire Festival, like that Billy, whatever, Billy McFarland or whatever his name is, where it's like he is just like this sleazy, like rich kid, like who has just been like in adult business at a very young age, like doing things that he should have been doing. And then it's just like what happens when you're kind of like left unsupervised, kind of like XOXO. Like it gives very much Gossip Girl vibes. And I think that's what I love about it because it's like by proxy, most of them kind of hang out, which is like what you need, like in the off time. Like they need to kind of hang out, even though like everyone is like super busy when they're not filming, but at least trying to hang out some, at some point. But it's like I think that's what I like about the show is because like you have like little bits and pieces of every person, but I think by proxy they trickle in like via social media that like it works. It's not like the housewives were like we're entrenched in the housewives and also entrenched in the show and it's just like so much housewives like you can kind of like get a little bit of like the next gen NYC stuff like I like in real time because like you can see it on social media. Like a lot of it was like oh like behind the scenes of like and we were doing her TikToks and like leaning into that like content creation, which I think is like really inspiring. Like I followed Amira before she was on Next Gen NYC. So like when I heard that she got casted, like I was really excited because like I love the way that she would do her makeup and just like her energy that she has, like, on camera, like, not on camera on the show because obviously, like, in a group setting, like, everyone is kind of, like, really dramatic that, like, it, like, mellows out, but just, like, her energy, like, on TikToks and stuff, if that makes sense.
I get what you mean. I get and I feel like all of them play such a good part in this
Yeah.
show, and they assist each other in balancing the dynamic between the cast. But what we seen was well, first off, I wanna ask, do you think that Teresa unfollowed Gia on purpose? Well, not Gia, Ava.
Ava.
Yeah.
Okay, so my theory is that, like, she kind of was like, "Oh, Gia, like, I'm gonna follow your friends." Like, she's a cool mom that she's gonna follow your friends on Instagram. But I think that, like, when you follow somebody on Instagram and, like, automatically you kind of get spammed with, like, several of their, like, more recent posts, like, the last few weeks to, like, be like, "Hey, like, okay, you followed this person, like, here, we're gonna show you them." And I feel like she probably followed her and then forgot that she, like, followed Gia's, like, friends from work, quote unquote, and then like saw probably like post from Ava and was like, "Who's this girl on my feed?" And like probably just unfollowed her,
Just unfollowed
like
her.
not yeah, like
Yeah.
not knowing like who she was per se, but like not in any like sort of way. But it's like I think the funniest thing ever when they fight about the distinction between like being called a liar or like you just lied, and how
Yeah.
serious it is for them to be like, "Oh, you're like a liar," but it's like you're lying about being followed and unfollowed. You're not like lying about like very serious things. So, like they take it so personally, which I think is so funny. Like Ava Dash makes it seem like Gia saying that she's a liar. Like they're shutting the door in her face. Like she's trying to go into the store and they're like, "No, you can't come in because you're a liar." I think
It's
that they're saying like a lot worse on lying. Like, I think you're kind of fine if Gia says, like, maybe you lied that you're coming after my mom, essentially. And you know how Gia don't play about her mom.
yeah, and I mean that's the part that I definitely understood about that because I didn't think it was all that serious, but Ava
No.
made it a really big deal. But again, it's entertaining to see because obviously she felt the way about it.
But I do at least appreciate the way that Ava and Georgia in the end, like when it came to Riley, like at least they didn't make a huge deal about how serious like the situation, like
Mhm.
how like intense it got. Like even Georgia being like she wasn't in her right mind, like alcohol like does affect you. Like I can't like hold that against her. And I feel like even Ava was like, well, like they can just talk. Like she didn't really like seem a
They
certain
didn't
type of
throw
way.
her under the bus
Yeah,
all
like
that much. I thought it was very balanced for what it was.
yeah,
Maybe in the confessionals during the moment, the confessionals
yeah.
that they show,
Right.
I think that's as intense as it got on Georgia's behalf.
Yeah, and I feel like
Mhm.
I will give them like freaking out about like the the silly little things about being called a liar versus like other things where I feel like they can just like really blow it out of proportion and like add fuel to the fire.
Yeah, because it wasn't a Shannon Beador type of
Yeah,
situation.
but like Gia getting like starting to get offended at the fact that like Ava confronted her and was like, okay, like now she's out to get me. And I'm like, Gia, like you need to calm down. Like I think it's
Well,
funny, like
mm,
the spectrum of like how much confrontation people are okay with, like where you have like Brooks where like I can't stand Brooks. Like if
you can?
no, I
I and you remember I used to be there with you. I used to feel the same way, and I
no,
think
you know how I hate a
yeah.
twink. I hate like I'm sorry. Like they are evil. Like that is evil. And I feel like when it comes to Brooks, like again, nothing burger.
He's growing so much on me, so it's sad. It is sad to hear this.
I and I think just like seeing the way that he behaved with Charlie, like I get it. Like if you don't want to be around him, if you don't want to do anything with him, like I think it's just like how Brooks is like the perfect friend to go to, like if you're having any sort of grievances, because I feel like he is like, okay, like I get like he's very empathetic and it's just like all the
Mhm.
emotions are just like too much emotion. Like even him talking to Meredith and Meredith being like, yeah, like you disengage after you've engaged. Like you don't like disassociate which he was like, which I'm learning. So like, I'm glad that he's learning a lot of these lessons. I think that he's just, I don't like him.
In conclusion, and that's fair, you know? That's
And I
fair to
hope,
say.
yeah, I hope that he comes out of his shell in his cocoon. But I think even when it comes to his clothing line, like he has so many resources, but I get it. Like things are a lot, especially when it comes to serious like business matters like that and like finding logistics. But I'm like, you have parents that have companies and Meredith sells caviar. She knows some sort of like logistics or has a team at least that can do it. That I'm just like, why don't you do it?
Well, I think because that's gonna be the season 3 storyline, or maybe next, like, later this season,
Like,
I feel like him and Ariana may collab. No?
they can definitely collab because I think that Ariana is like the perfect ad. I think that my favorite thing about Ariana is her and Brielle and when they go get their hair done and they have like the longest extensions known to man, but they
Yeah,
look so good because they are literally straight out of like a Pinterest mood board. Like their hair is
and you can see that on the show, they literally use
yeah.
the Pinterest mood boards, and I don't know, I kind of appreciate it even for the themes for the parties. I don't
No, that
know.
was so good. I went to a bachelorette party last year, and part of the invitation, they had attached like a page full of different like mood board like outfit ideas for each of
Yeah.
the events that we were doing, and it was super helpful because like sometimes you don't know what to
What
wear.
the vibe is going for
Um,
it, but then when you have that, you know exactly what you're doing.
have you ever watched Rocky Horror Picture Show? Is that what it's called?
No, I haven't, but I've heard of it. So when they brought it up, I am curious. I do wanna see it. Is that something that you've seen?
No, I haven't either. So, but I know that it's big. I
Okay.
here in my town they do have a musical. I think it because it is a musical, but they have like an actual showing around I think Halloween time. I think it's a Halloween if I'm not mistaken. Um, but I yeah, that's
So I wanna know though, do you know, is it because when I think about it, I think of Rocky, and I think of it just being a horror movie about Rocky. Is that kinda what it's am I just t wrong?
no, no, I don't I can't
Mm-mm.
explain it to you like
Mm-mm.
like
No.
because I know that I'm not gonna do a good job at explaining because I don't know. I've only seen I think, there is a drag part element to the movie, which I think is, like, what makes it so, like, risque, I
Okay.
think, but I don't know
I love
100%.
that word. It just takes me back to season 1 of Browning when you said that risque.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
if you guys don't know, I just did a Roni rewatch. Well, I'm not done yet. I stopped on season 4, and then I got a little pissed that Bethany left because I know you guys don't really like Bethany now, but Bethany back then was
Yeah, I loved Bethany back then. I think
yeah,
one of my favorite Bethany moments is when her and Heather Hala Thompson are going back and forth, and she tells Heather like finally she's like maybe I do know it all. Like she keeps calling her a know it all, and she's like maybe I do know it all. Like have you ever thought of that? Like maybe I do actually know it all. Like what about it? And like sometimes I feel a bit like that where I'm just like maybe I do know it all. Like have you ever thought about that?
yeah. Oh,
But that is a really good
it's so
rewatch.
good.
I one of my favorite cast trips, I think, across the board is the Miami trip where Bethany loses her mind, like after Dennis passes away, where she says his life is not a cabaret. Like that whole dinner
Mhm.
scene, Luann against literally everybody. Like you're a sicko. Like, you remember that one?
You're a sicko. Oh, wasn't that when she was calling Luann out?
Yeah.
For the yes. Okay, yeah, that's my
When she
favorite
has
one
like a
too.
breakdown because Dennis
That I
died.
got you for
She's
free.
yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yes.
Okay,
But
good
going back to
times.
Next Gen NYC, I do want to know Georgia's bodega order. Okay, like I have very mixed feelings when it comes to Georgia because she is weird. I think that's just like what's wrong with her. It's like she's like really weird, but I
It's
don't.
just it's the hand washing thing for me.
Yeah,
Like
I
I
know. Again, that's what I'm saying. Like, she's
yeah.
weird. Like she's a dirty bit. Like she's weird. Like again, like she's just weird and strange, you know. But
But it's
like,
intriguing to watch. Like it's interesting to watch. And it kind of reminds me of, have you ever went in Hot Topic and then I think they have a TikTok about it where it's this weird ass couple that's standing behind you and you kind of overhear their conversation and it's just
yeah, I can only
yeah.
imagine. Yeah, no, that's basically it. Like, I want to know, just like Amanda Batula, how many times are you walking around at like BravoCon barefoot in these streets of New York? Like, I think especially when BravoCon like was like in New York, you know, I think it was like across the street or it was like really spread out. Like she would have been running in the streets barefoot, you know, like
Yeah.
and it's just like what she gives is like she's just like, you know, weird like that.
I would actually prefer not to side with Amanda because I know there's a thin line and I'm not doing that. But I would actually prefer if she like if she did that than the
But
no
not
hand
okay.
washing thing. That is just a lot. But I will say I'm interested. I'm interested in her scenes, and as much as I don't wanna like her, there's something about
Yeah.
her that's interesting to me.
Yeah, she's a little eclectic, which again, I'm not sensing we'll see how it goes with her.
Mhm.
I don't hate her. Again, I'm not a fan of Brooks, but everyone else I'm kind of like, okay, so even okay, Brooks bringing in Liam, what do you think about Liam?
He's interesting. That isn't that the child actor?
Yeah,
Okay. And
he
I'm
kind of
still
looks
trying to
like
remember him from because wasn't he on Nickelodeon or
oh, I don't like I
no.
feel like even with Heather Dubrow, like sometimes it's like or like even Erica Jane, like you get like a guest spot on like Law& and Order SVU, but it's like a lot of these guest spots like, oh, like my back was like tore, you know, I don't know exactly what he
Right.
did at
Was it
Nickelodeon that
that's
it's like I'm not gonna go looking to see what he was
but
doing
I am
at
I think I am today because I am curious. Were
Nickelodeon.
you an extra because the first thing that came to mind, I said Zoe 101, maybe a Drake and Josh cameo or
He's really
something
young
like
though,
that.
that's the thing though, I feel like it would have been, like,
Oh,
after prime time, because I don't think he's that old. He reminds me of the kid from Home Alone, Michael, like, Brenda
yeah.
like, that's like, his face kinda gives me that, um, but when it comes to, like, his vibe, like, he just seems a little bit, like, strange, I don't know, something in the eyes, like, isn't 100% there, I feel like I don't love when people try to fake, like, watching reality TV, like, they've never watched, like, an episode of reality TV, and, like,
Mhm.
I get that you are, like, on your motorcycles and, like, in the woods or, you know, riding horses, whatever you're doing, like, your
Do
50
you
billion
sense
hobbies.
a dark-sided energy from him?
I maybe, like, there's something there that just doesn't seem like 100%, and again, maybe it is the fact that this is his first season, you know, being on reality TV again, I don't know what I would be like, you know, when a camera is on you, but you can only fake it for so long until so it's like, so should there anything be dark on his side, I feel like it'll come out anyway, you
I
know?
feel it's just poppers.
The poppers?
Yeah, the
You think
poppers.
that I don't
Allegedly, I don't wanna but I just think it's poppers.
like, the eyes seem a little bit dilated, is that what you're saying? Like,
Yeah,
the poppers? Okay. Yeah,
I just think it's the rush.
like, I think that he would be dancing along to Troye Sivan in, like, some low-rise jeans,
I could see that.
you know? Like a backup dancer, like FKA Twigs, like, get them all in the room
Do you
together.
think there's a thing between him and Brooks? That's what I pick up on, but I'm not sure if I'm feeling
See,
correctly.
I didn't know what was happening because, like, Brooks doesn't really say a whole lot or do
Yeah.
a whole lot that it's like, "Oh, like, this is my friend," but it's like, they could be friends, like, IRL, since Brooks is more, like, New York based, and if they're, like, rural or not rural, but, like, Northern New Yorkers or, you know, like, upstate, whatever, like, you know, the more established, like, families live, maybe that could be a thing, but I didn't realize that he wasn't, like, an actual ice skater, like, when we got to a scene of, like, him, like, skating around, like I thought we were doing like a bit, kind of like the goat yoga, or like we were showing up to like, the bungee class on OC, but then he started
Right.
like actually like doing things, and then like Brooke started actually skating. Like I will give him that. I cannot skate. I went snowboarding once and I sprained my ankle, and never again will I ever go snowboarding. I would try skiing though, but it is terrifying. Like actually
I
legit
feel
terrifying.
like you told me this before because I
Yeah.
think I said I want to go skiing, and I don't know what it is with people in these stories. It makes me not want to do it,
No, like
but
people, it's scary. Like you, of course, it's like have free reign when it comes to like being on the slopes, quote unquote, but like you could hit a tree and like die. Or like Mauricio, Kyle's
mhm.
husband, he broke his clavicle. Like he ran into a tree like snowboarding or skiing or something that is like you can like injure yourself if
But don't
you
they
don't.
have like a open patch, like a
Yeah, but it's
because
like
that's kind of what I want to do. I don't want to be around trees. I just want to
but it's
go
scary though
straight
because
down.
the moment that you put the board on the floor, it starts moving because it's so slick. So you have to learn how to like like stand without like it sliding away because it automatically wants to. It's already at an incline, so it automatically like wants to like bring you down. So it's just like a scary feeling, like having like learning your footing when it comes to
But don't you
snowboarding.
just stick the
Yeah, so
things
it's
in the
like I.
ground?
That's why
Yeah.
I would at least try skiing.
Okay, well, maybe that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I want to do that.
But it's still scary. Again, I'm scared of
Yeah.
everything. I hate falling.
So that
Even
way I could just fall backwards if anything, you know?
that's what you think. That's what I did with like when I was snowboarding and I was like strapped, and that's what like ended up like stretching out my tendon or something.
Maybe I'll just get on the little ride that takes you across
Yeah, the gondola thing,
and
the
just
lift.
do like to what Tinashe does and just take pictures from there and say that
Yeah,
I went on a ski trip.
I think you should. And
Yeah.
like even like the Salt Lake City women, like when they go skiing, like it looks so much fun. Like just like how fast they go. But again, that also terrifies me to go that fast because
Yeah, I don't want to go so fast. I just
yeah.
want like a
Like
little hill.
have you seen some of these people that ski like really huge mountains and they're just like dropping like tons of feet down and like
Yeah.
the most insane things ever? That's like that's what I picture when you're like skiing.
Woo! That's a lot. Okay, so going back to
Oh,
Netscanon.
back to what's his name, Liam. Yeah,
Yeah.
again, we'll see how he is. I don't hate him for Ariana. I think Ariana needs to have more alone time. I think that Ariana is the quintessential like for to be honest on Facebook, and she did all of them. And it wasn't a like, if it wasn't a TBH, it was a rate. And if it wasn't that, then it was like putting someone else's name on their Facebook profile. Like,
Oh my
like
gosh. That got
that's
it.
that's very much Ariana.
Very
Like that's why like I
specific.
feel like she's a because again, she talks about being like the type of person that like if you need someone there to like vent, like she's the one that like you're calling like all like overnight, all night. You guys are just like friends because like that's just like you guys are BFFs, you know. So she's a very sweet girl, but I think she needs a little bit more time alone. And I think just getting bombarded with either Liam or Hudson or Charlie or even at this point Shy, like she needs to like be a little bit on her own before I think she gets into another relationship. Even though I think is she with Hudson actively? Do we know? Like
I don't think
present
so.
day.
No, I don't
Okay.
think so. But I can say that I see a little bit of Kim in her. Just how she kind of
It
handled
is.
Riley towards the end. And it was one of those things where she's like, "What do you want me to say?" And I could just see Kim's face when she said it
No, it
because
is scary the way that they are
yeah,
mini like Kim Zolciaks. Even when they were talking about Liam in the first episode where they were at Ariana's apartment and Brielle was there and they talk about him playing hockey. And the first
his
thing that
butt.
Brielle said, yeah, and then
Yeah,
Brielle being like, "Oh, he's gonna have a big butt." And I'm like, literally the child of Kim
you're
Zolciak,
the
because
child.
that is what got Croy.
Have you seen his butt? If she was so dead serious and she never went
Ask
back.
believe and you shall receive. Like truer words have never been spoken. But unfortunately, like that was also her to her detriment with all of her gambling.
It was. Oh,
But I really do like Ariana. I don't want Brielle there per se.
I
But
kind of like the little moments. not many, but every now and then.
See, and that's where I feel like I'm a little bit hypocritical because it's like, um, when it comes to Shamia and Portia, like, I don't like that Portia was like, "This is my thing, like, get off the show." But then, like, when it comes to this, I'm like, "No, this is Ariana's thing, like, don't be getting
Well,
on
to
this
be
show," you know?
fair, yeah, because I mean, it's the first 2 seasons too,
Yeah.
so, you could do something else. I don't necessarily wanna see I would prefer Ariana.
Yeah, no, definitely, because Brielle's just been a little too chaotic, like, even when they do you remember when I think there was a girl who had posted that her boyfriend or husband was, like, cash apping Brielle and Kim Zolciak like $1,000 or like some like not huge amount of money to like get their nails done or do some like random thing. But she was like blasting Brielle for being like a homewrecker or something. And Brielle was just kind of like, okay, like I was just getting money, like so I feel like that is the spirit of Brielle a little bit, is that like I know that she's getting married or she's engaged, believe, but
Yeah,
she isn't a stranger
the
to
spirit of Brielle.
yeah.
That is maybe it needs its own show. But, you know
I
what? To wrap next gen up though, I wanna ask
oh
you, like, just to get into the specifics between Riley and Georgia and
ooh,
everything that happened because that was an intense moment. So pretty much if you haven't seen, guys, um, Riley and Georgia are drinking, and then Riley suggests that maybe Georgia has ketamine in her drink. I believe that's what happened, and, from there, Georgia's kinda a little bit taken back because she doesn't know what Riley's talking about. She doesn't have an addiction to ketamine. She's not done ketamine.
see, like, the spirit of Mariah Huck,
She just
like,
denied it.
cocaine, like,
Cocaine.
ketamine, like, not even hookah, beloved, like, you know?
And funny enough, I didn't know what ketamine was until Sims 4.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
I
because
didn't
of the little cheat code that you put in, and then they give you you know, the
yeah,
drugs.
yeah. I didn't what does it do to The Sims?
Ketamine just makes you I don't know, it makes you a little hungry. That's what I remember. Makes us a little hungry, a little thirsty, maybe like dehydrated. But they can go to work, like they have a strong work ethic. They perform very well at work. So
I'm dead, I can't. Yeah, the way that things escalated between Georgia and Riley, and I think again the little unfortunate thing is how much Georgia can push Riley's buttons like
yeah,
so easily. Like, and it's I think the crux of it is just the fact that Riley doesn't like Georgia. Like again, if she was, acting weird towards her last season, whether it be microaggressive or not, like I like obviously you can't un learn the way that people behave. So it's like I'm
yeah.
sure she is overtly defensive and then add alcohol into the mix. I did go back to look at the because you know how they had the Urban Outfitters party right before like that outing, that boys' night, girls' night. Again, that would have been my worst nightmare. The fact that they okay, again, now like again, I hate Brooks, but it's like the fact that they made him go with the boys was so mean. It's like when you're in PE and they like made you separate
That's
like
exactly
boys with
what
the
I
girls.
thought
Like
of.
I was like, that's so fucking mean. Like I don't think that I
I don't
would
wanna do that.
like
I don't wanna do that.
no.
Mm-mm. No.
So I felt for him in that, and especially, like, you have literally your arch nemesis, Charlie, there, like, who is just so strange, like, just a strange, strange person. But again, the way that Brooks, like, to a degree, like, overreacts and or shuts down, like, one or the other, I'm like, you can just, like, talk to him and be like, "Hey, like, don't really mess with you," type thing, and I think that's what everyone's getting at, is, like, to get him to say what is the issue, but going back to the girls' night, boys' night, when it came to Georgia and Riley, like just oh, sorry, I totally got messed up. When it comes to the Urban Outfitters party, I went back and I looked, and I think it was about, like, 2 or 3 weeks after Candy and Todd's announcement of their separation. So, I was like, "Is there other things going on?" Because it seems, like, obviously out of character, even though, like, Riley does seem like a really big brat, and, like, just the way
Yeah.
that, like, she does talk down to people is really annoying, like, even with it when it came to Ava Dash and her, where she was like, "I'm not gonna say please and thank you," like, just, like, basic manners like that, like, it just gets, like, really, like,
Only
hard to watch.
child.
Yeah, like, it just gives, like yeah, like, you don't know how to share, but it's like the sad part,
But
I
then
think
it
is
takes you back to Atlanta when we're kinda seeing,
yeah,
how Candy deals with Mama Joyce. And I feel like the people that she loves, she just kinda gives them free range to express themselves and do what they want in a way that becomes out of control and chaotic, and then
it
when it
becomes like
becomes,
enablement.
yeah, too bad, then she's like, "Now hold on, wait a
Yeah.
minute, yo," like,
Um, but I think that that's why Candy doesn't drink is because ultimately she would be just like Riley. I think that she does have the
mhm.
spirit of Mama Joyce inside of her, plus probably so many years of just like pent up emotions, just like with her mom being in the spotlight and all of the things that Candy is constantly doing when it comes to work, and probably Mama Joyce like being there a lot along the way and obviously influencing her, but I'm sure that there's a lot of things that Riley doesn't necessarily communicate either because I'm sure it's a lot easier for her to just, like, keep it in. But then you add alcohol and or, like, any other sort of, like, little annoying thing, and it just, like, sets things off, and I think that once you get into, like, a really stubborn, mentality like that, like, it's hard to, like, snap out of it. Because then even, like, when she went like, got into her Uber, like, she was perfectly fine, at the very end, but it does, like, take a little bit for them to snap out, especially
She
when it
just
is, like
needs a little water. I think
yeah.
that's when you're young too, you don't understand the importance of water because you're like,
Yeah,
"I'm
no,
drunk, I
like,
don't want water. I'm not
no,
thirsty."
she has access to bottle service at
Yeah.
such a young age that it is, like but
You
that's
just
again what
need,
gives it,
yeah.
like, the, like, XOXO Gossip Girl vibes. It's, like, these really, young kids with access to quite a bit of money, and that's what I think is really fun. I don't know if you ever watched The Rich Kids of Beverly Hills. It was a show on E! And it had Morgan Stewart, Dorothy Wang, AJ Johnson and a few others, and it was just, like, again, like, the rich, like, social circle of, like, Beverly Hills kids, and it was very
Okay.
much like that, where it's like, "Okay, like, tomorrow we're gonna go to the club." It's, like, a Wednesday, but it's, like so, like, we're gonna get bottle service, and then, like, Friday we're going to Cabo, and, like, they're gonna get us a private jet, so, like, like, let's get ready, and then, like,
Wow.
it's kind of what it gives a little bit, especially, like, with Riley, oh, sorry, we didn't even talk about Rowan. What do you think about Rowan, Brooke Shields' daughter?
I don't think about her.
Well
Not yet, at least, because I haven't I haven't seen enough to be fair.
Yeah,
Because even how they brought her on, it's like, "Oh, that's Brooke Shields' daughter," and everybody's
yeah.
like, "Who's Brooke Shields?"
It's because she
And
like,
the
they
mom
were
from Hannah Montana,
yeah,
remember?
everyone was probably like they were looking for Hannah Montana to show up. Like, wouldn't you, like, if you
Yeah.
were like, "Hey, my mom was Hannah Montana on" I mean, Hannah Montana's mom, like, I think that you would also be like, "Okay, so, like, can I request a climb or Malibu?" Like, she's gonna show
One
up
of them, yeah.
yeah.
But that's not what we got. We got a Pretty Little
She
Liars character.
she's very pretty. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
she gives, like, perfect casting for, like, Riverdale. Was it that was didn't they have, like,
Yeah.
a redheaded character on Riverdale? Or like that
Oh,
or
I don't,
oh, I think Kaya would know.
yeah.
That's a CW
See?
show.
That's a CW show, and you know she loves that. She's the
Yeah.
originals, Vampire Diaries.
Oh, I do wanna go back and watch it. I watched the CW when, like, they were live back in the day. I did watch, The Vampire Diaries a little bit, but then I got really, obviously drawn on, you know, because of how many offsprings and everything that they ended up doing. But I do wanna go back and revisit The Vampire Diaries, like, now that I am more of an adult.
Yeah, and just see how it is. Maybe one day.
Yeah.
I tried with Pretty Little Liars, I couldn't do it.
See, again, just, like, so much, so many episodes, like, who like, Love Island already, like, took up so much time, you know? Like, who
It did. It
I
did.
know.
Like, mm, until next year
Sorry.
with Love Island. But
Going back to Georgia and Riley, sorry.
to go
But
back, because we have to wrap it up to talk about OC. But I will say, although Riley did not handle it well, I think, with the drinking and then with the glass thing, did I think it was funny? Yeah. Did I laugh? Yes. I
it
did
was
think it
just
was
so
funny because
quick.
I knew she wasn't gonna do anything. That's
No,
not who she is. I don't feel like I
no.
I I know she knows her limits.
Okay. Well, like, also think about it, you rewatching Brony, like, that episode where Ramona chucks her glass at Kristen Takeman in the water and it cuts her lip, like, people are not, like, new to throwing glass, and I get that,
Yeah.
again, it was heated, but it's like, to me, it's like that meme of Rose McGowan where she's like, "God damn it!" And, like, she's just, like, so mad, and, like, that's kinda what it gave her, it's like, I feel like she would have, like, thrown it on the floor, not, like, at
I
Georgia.
remember you used to send me that all the time.
Because it is so funny, like, she is pissed,
God damn it.
and I think that once Candy sees the actual episode, I think that she will get in
Well,
that ass.
we're seeing the clip. Like, I don't know if you've seen it's a clip. I think they released it from the Nets episode, but Candy and her are on a FaceTime, and
Yes, but
Candy's like,
she just, like, is like, "I overreacted," like, she doesn't go into the details of the actual conversation.
"Oh,
Like,
yeah.
she kind of, like, doesn't, like, say, like, what
Stay
happened. She was just like
quiet."
yeah, she was just like, "Georgia just, like, knows how to trigger me," and, like, I like, like we just have to go through it, and, like, even when Candy was like, "Is that your politically correct answer?" Like, because she knows that, like, she's not really being forthcoming of what actually
But
happened. So
she's pretty much saying like, "Mom, I'm on TV. Well, I'll call you back and we can talk about it in more detail, but right now, I kinda need you to understand that I'm taking actions and I'm gonna do better."
yeah, but unfortunately, I'm like, I know that she is gonna have some words for her, and I hope that, again, it does help. Again, she showed her ass, but sometimes people need these, like, very blatant lessons for it to, like, actually, like, click, that
And
it's
I
like
don't
a
think it's gonna be too bad either, just because I feel like Riley's a good kid for the most well,
yeah.
not a kid, she's an adult now. Riley is
That's
a
so
good
young. She's what,
yeah.
23?
She's a well-mannered young adult.
Yeah.
That's the way I'll say it, and I've never seen this type of behavior from her. So
That's
and I'm
why
pretty sure Candy hasn't either, so this may be one of those things where it's like, "Okay, make sure you drink water, don't get too, fucked up on camera."
That's why, like, when she talks to like, that's why I went to go back and see when the announcement of, like, their separation happened because obviously it is gonna affect everyone in the family that I'm like, again, I feel like she has a lot of, like, pent-up emotions that she really isn't expressing right now, and then you add alcohol into the mix, and it's just, like, any little thing is gonna set her off, and, like, obviously, like, being so close to Georgia, even, like, just, like, how close everybody was, like, it just heightens everything, and, again,
She
I
couldn't
feel
take
for
it
Riley.
anymore.
No, and that's why, again, as a Candy apologist, like, and a fan of Candy, like, this episode was a little bit difficult to watch, um, but it
Yeah.
seems like, though, everyone is able to move forward, so we'll see how it keeps going because, obviously, like, it's gonna be hard not to party on a Bravo show where they're gonna supply you with endless amount of alcohol that you already had previously, but now it's like they set up, like, rideshare and everything for you to a degree that it's a little bit more controlled of an environment to just get drunk all the time.
Yeah, just slow down, Riley. I would suggest, drinking your water. Also learning when to throw up. Like, sometimes okay, maybe you shouldn't say that.
No,
Maybe that's
I
not a
think
thing.
no, I think that it wouldn't do much for her at that point because it feels like, again, like, she can handle the amount of liquor, quote, unquote, like, the bodily amount of liquor, but, like, it hits her so much that, like,
Mhm.
And especially when you're doing shots, and I think it's hard when you're in a group that big because at any given moment, someone is gonna wanna be able to do a shot. So if you're already like, "Okay, it's a shot," like, we get it over with, it's not like a drink you don't have to really carry, or, like, of course, you're already having more drinks, like, it's so easy to, like, add up the amount of, like, ounces of alcohol that you're gonna be consuming in a single night, you know?
This is true. Okay.
But, again, you're 23, like, you it's like learning when not to like, learning what not to mix, like, there's one night where you mix, like, everything under the sun, and you're like, "Okay, well, maybe, like, I don't mix the Buzzball with the B-boxes and the tequila," like, maybe we just pick one or the other, and she'll learn those lessons.
Well said. Well
You know what I
said.
mean?
I get exactly what you mean, and I feel like she will learn, and we're gonna see progress. I'm gonna stick beside Riley
Oh my
because,
god, what about Ariana and her having that conversation at the end where she was like,
oh,
"You weren't, like, stepping up in for me very much."
well, I think that was an easy fix. I think it was one of those things where Riley was kind of embarrassed by her actions and she wanted to
Mhm.
take it back so bad. And
Yeah,
she couldn't believe that she did it. So she placed blame on somebody else because honestly, looking back at it, I don't think Ariana could have had her back any more than she did. I mean,
yeah,
she got you some pizza, she got you water, she recommended taking water shots. She just wanted you to chill out a little. And there were numerous times where she was like, okay, Riley, like, you know, but you're your
yeah.
own person. It's only so much that she can do. She can't pin you to the table and handcuff you and just tell you to stop, you
Yeah,
know?
no, she was definitely like mother bear the entire night, which,
Yeah.
like, was very sweet to see. It definitely was a little bit, like, sad to see that conversation go through, but again, at the very end when, Riley was like, "There's nothing I can do about it, I can't take anything back," and it really did show ultimately what it is that's wrong, is that, like, she really did mess up, and she's like, "Damn it, like, I can't, like, undo the night anymore, like, I just, like, have to sit
It's
here."
over. Yeah. And
Yeah, and it's, like, a
it's
sad
happened.
realization to, like, be like, "Damn it," like, there's nothing that I can, like, really spin it or do or, like, say that really can justify it, and it is hard
Mm-mm.
to come to
No.
reason with sometimes, especially at such a young age.
It is. But one thing that I will say that stood out in that conversation was when she said, like, I wish I had a person or,
Yeah.
something
Again,
to that sense. It made me a little bit sad because you could tell on the show, maybe she feels like she doesn't really fit in all that much.
mhm. Yeah, like
And and I think that's also and that's the one good thing about this cast. I think that's why they go so hard on trying to make sure that she feels welcomed
mhm.
for the most part. I'm not talking about Georgia or any like
Oh
Charlie
my
or any
god.
of them, but,
Yeah.
I would say as far as like,
Like the
yeah,
housewife kids,
Gia,
yeah.
Ariana,
Brooks,
Brooks,
or yeah,
even,
Amira,
Ava.
or Ava.
Yeah. So, hopefully her and Ariana are able to remain friends and kind of work it out, and maybe Ariana can be there in more of the ways that she needs her to be there. But I honestly think I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see a TikTok or like an after show or maybe like a reunion where she takes accountability for that and then she apologizes to Ariana.
Yeah, I really do hope so. Because again, like, it's okay to be like, "Hey, I messed up." But then, like, to just double down and triple down about it is where, like, it sucks because it's like, again, you don't see how it looks from, like, the outside perspective, not that you have to constantly be worried about the way things look, but it's like, to a degree, like, you can't really justify, like, how much it escalated to it, like, and I get it, like, if people are saying, like, certain things and certain jabs that not everyone can pick up on, but you can tell that they're, like, purposely, like, coming after you, I can see that, and
Right.
I think that's where, like, to it, like, a little bit, Riley was kind of like, "You don't see how she is, like, egging me on," but then, like, it kind of already seemed heightened to begin with that, like, whatever she said was in her mind, like, egging it on, even though it might not be.
I can see that. I definitely can
Like,
see
because
that.
again, they just don't like each other, like, and that's fine, but you should be able to say that and, like, just again, you're in a group setting, like, go talk to somebody else, but that again, they're so young, so it's so, like, you know
They're
Middle school?
learning. They're
Yeah,
babies.
like,
They're
it's like a middle
learning.
school dance vibes where it's like you're kind of, like, sitting off by your friends just, like, staring and, like, talking, like, I didn't like the way that Georgia and Ava, like, even when she, like, kept whispering to her, like, that would've pissed me off, like, I think if I was drunk, then I would've been like, "Huh? Like, are you saying something?" Like, I'm glad that she did not get, triggered like
Yeah.
that.
Georgia, she was pretty good with that.
Yeah.
So I will say that.
But again, I
But
think she's just weird, so
yeah,
just
who knows? Hot topic. That's what I said.
do you think that they stole her business idea?
No.
Charlotte.
No, not at all. Like, I'm not gonna go that far. Like, I think she's weird, and I do think she's interesting, but I just don't think it's that serious. But going to
Oh,
OC,
see, sorry, yeah.
I wanna well, you did tell me why you feel like it's a nothing burger,
Yes.
with what's going on, because I told you, I was like, I was really excited the first episode.
It feels nostalgic. We have the key players, we have a lot of the same antics. We have, Vicky and Shannon falling down on the beach, like, I think that Shannon's instability is linked to the lack of confidence that she has, and I think that if she was more confident herself, like, she wouldn't be so clumsy, but I feel like not even in, like, knowing where to step, like, she is confident, like, in doing so, but
That was
that
deep.
and again, I'm sorry, I had that on the top of my mind when it comes to Shannon, like, homegirl is always falling, she is so clumsy.
I love Shit Amador.
Like,
I
sometimes
do.
you know that clip of Shannon where her and David are, like, at the tail end of their marriage, and they're in the kitchen, and he's drinking water out of, like, a pretty small glass, and he's, like, finishing it up, and she's like, "Well, why don't you take it upstairs, like, so you can have cold water?" And he's like, "Why would I do that if the water's almost done?" And she's like, "Well, like, in case you want cold water," and he's like, "It's not even cold," and she's like, "But I see ice cubes in there," and he's like, "Yeah, I just put them in there, it's not cold yet." But, like, he's drinking it so fast that, like, there's barely any water, but, like, she's trying to be so helpful to be like, like, "Oh, like, take it with you upstairs, like, have a nice, glass of water by your bed," and he's like, "Bitch, like, don't tell me what to do, like, you're pissing me off." But it's, like, the tension in that video that, like, you can almost cut, like, so crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, but I feel like she's better off by herself. Now, one thing that I will say is not in the sense that Tamara said, because in the first episode, and I'm so sick of Tamara's motherfucking ass. I am
She gets on my
tired.
motherfucking
She gets
nerves.
on
I'm
my
tired of her
motherfucking
bullshit.
nerves. I'm tired of her bullshit. That's one thing that I will say is repetitive. It's like the Shannon dogpiling, the slander, the
Like, she's
allegations.
already gone through so much,
She's
and they,
gone
like
how much?
they kick her when she is down,
And they
and it
keep doing
seems
it
like that's why
every
her
season.
tagline is so funny, like, when she's like, "When people ask me how I do it, it's resilience and shaper," or whatever her tagline is, and
Yeah.
it's like, "No, like, you just drink to medicate because, like, you are constantly fighting for your life." But
Eh,
I always say that if I were a rich housewife like this, like, what else would you wanna do rather than, like, you wake up and you start drinking? Like, not to be an alcoholic, but it's like, there's nothing better than, like, going to, like, the mall when you're kinda buzzing, you're just, like, damn, like, buying everything, that it's like
I
that's
feel
kind
like
of
it's
like
a good vibe.
yeah,
Even though
like, you
everything feels so far, it's a
yeah.
really good vibe. You just don't get in the car and do it. That's the only problem that I have with Shannon. But aside from her staying home and
When
drinking,
y
I didn't really see
especially when you
anything.
have so much money, like, even when it came to Karen Huger, I'm just like, "You really couldn't cough up $50 for an Uber?" Like, I get that you think you're a celebrity and you need, like, private car service like Kelly, like, having a big ass, like, minivan following you around, but I'm
I
like,
think
"You"
maybe she wanted to play her own music or something like that. Like, that's the only thing that I can think
No,
of if I'm looking back.
Shannon Shannon is like those ladies with the wallet, like, iPhone that, like,
Mhm.
she would just, like, play it, like, she would play her own music loud, and, like, like, when it folds, like, when it's open like that, like, she would just be, like, playing her own music in the Uber, like, I don't think she
Yeah,
would care.
okay.
But,
That's
yes,
fair.
when it comes to OC, like, overall, like, in theory, the episodes are good, but even this last episode, I'm kind of like, okay, so like the issue is that like people talk about Tamara behind her back, but then when she's around, they're not saying anything, and it's like, yeah,
Isn't that
obviously.
always the issue though?
Yeah, and then they're like, and then she's like her about them like being like, you're kind of mean, and she, but like you are mean, like that's why
Stop
e-
being a shitty person.
everyone's like, oh, like they're scared of you, and it's like, not that they're scared of you, but it's like, I don't know. It's kind of like when Dorinda, like when she even, or even with Riley, like once they start getting to like the dark side, and you're kind of just like trying to keep peace because like you don't want to tip the scale in that direction because it's so hard to like pull the other way that it's like I'd rather just like keep things like superficial. That's why Heather is a great friend to have. Like Heather is all about like the little perfected, like the perfect details and everything that it's like it's really easy to like busy yourself with like the minute details. So you're not really talking about anything like past that,
Right.
you know. But I don't really think Heather has much going on in her life that is that serious, you know. Like when it comes to her money, even though Vicky was like she got like inherited it all or like didn't earn it, I would at least her money is a little bit more legit compared to like a Kyle and a Mauricio, right? Like their money at some point may be a little bit more like ill-gotten, a little allegedly. Like it just seems like they're not getting divorced because I think that they like forensic accounting, I think, would find certain things when it comes to Kyle and Mauricio. Allegedly, and that's not me trying to be like shady
Yeah.
or anything, but it's like they've been in Hollywood. Like I've seen Mauricio like in lawsuits of him like selling and rebuying like homes and like
But
really like
see, you
weird,
don't think
you
it
know.
was Little House on the Prairie?
Yeah, no, I but again, like there to a degree their money is legit, Kyle Mauricio, but
Yeah.
there is a little bit of like, you know, a little bit of like blue collar crime maybe in there versus like Heather Dubrow and like them having a huge house because of the boobs. Like even Lenny Hochstein and like his house and stuff, like again, like they kind of make sense, you know, like if you really are like one of the top plastic surgeons or something, or if you're like getting Christian or level facelifts for like 130, $150,000 a pop, like you can make a good amount of money, you know?
Yeah, that's
So
true.
it's like, again, I don't think Heather has anything going on because there's nothing much going on to her. Do you remember that episode of OC where Heather and Terry were sticking leeches to their stomachs, like for like a health thing? It was like at some, I think it might have been one of Shannon's parties. It was like a cowboy themed party maybe or something. But I remember like they lifted up their shirt and they had like a patch and like you could see like it was bleeding because they had stuck like two leeches to their body and like they it was like sucking their blood. Like it was like for some health like weird reason. You don't remember that?
I don't. I'm kind of glad
You will
you
have,
said that.
yeah, you will have to go back and rewatch. I'm like 99% sure, but like I remember they were doing some like weird health thing
The
and
last specific thing I remember is that scene of the icicle, like the ice sculpture, and them sitting in the room with the girl and like interrogating her. Do you
oh,
remember that?
Nicole James
Yes.
when she said that she sued Terry and then they're like, why would we invite someone who like sued Terry and they like gaslit her into being like, you're not gonna get fired. Like when they like for sure got her ass fired. Like
Yeah,
I know that Heather Dubrow threw a fit when it came to that girl. Like,
I knew she did. Cause
but
that scene was so intense and weird. But
and
I
like the
wanted to say before I forgot,
uh,
I feel like Tamra is the Homelander of Housewives of Orange County. And she doesn't even give herself that much credit because you're always stirring the pot. They always ask you to come back. You're always like, I feel like top pick for OC when they're like, who should come back and Tamara's not on the show. And then you have this fucking podcast where you just go on and you blast everybody on there and you talk about their business and you come back. And when they call you mean or a bitch, you're just like, what did I do?
like they need to do a movie theater screening like they did with Dr. Heavenly where they played
Yes. Everything that she's ever said.
and Dr. Heavenly like cackling at the fact that they like she was like, I am funny. Like, what do you mean?
She
I
was
can't.
so
But
entertained
yeah,
by
no,
that shit.
Tamara is like unfortunately like she is so reality TV that I think her life isn't not reality TV. It's gotten to the point a little bit of like a Lisa Rinna, where Lisa Rinna, like the character, quote unquote, that she would play on Beverly Hills is who she ultimately ended up morphing into, which is like not a good person. And I feel that's the same thing with Tamara. Like even when it came to her daughter, and not to like speak on her family, but like if your daughter's like, "Hey, don't post about me," and you're like, "Suck it, losers! Look at me at my daughter's graduation." Like,
So you think allegedly like a case of imposter syndrome or
no, I just think that again, like when you're constantly like on, then I feel like you don't know how to turn it off. And I feel like when it comes to Tamara, like she spent more years as a housewife maybe than not being a housewife. I don't know 100% how old she is, but it's like again, like I feel like once you're a housewife like that, and you're again, if it's not like when you're filming, then you're doing your podcast, but you're constantly being like a housewife character, then I feel
on?
like
Yeah.
yeah, you can't like you lose yourself a little bit in it. Like
She needs
I'm
to
sure.
find herself.
And I think again, that's why I think Vicky is gonna be a really grounding spirit when it comes to the cast and the ensembleness of it, is like really grounding it and really cutting through a lot of this like unnecessary like back and forth. Like even her saying that Heather Dubrow is a superficial friend, but it's like, yeah, like who wouldn't be with like Tamara? Like
Mhm.
no one wants to be like yelled at in the back of a Sprinter van in Ireland because like you're saying that her husband is gay. Like Vicky and Tamara did that, season of Megan King and Ben going to Scotland or Ireland to find her family or whatever. Uh, but I really do hope that again, Vicky can really ground us and really bring us back to what the house of formula should be, because Tamara is holding back the show quite a bit, because again they have realized that it is an easy check. You just really have to fight about nonsense and you will still get paid for doing like the bare minimum. Again, like even with Atlanta, but at least with Atlanta, like they're funnier, we get a little bit more substance to it, but obviously like you just don't as much. Like I don't
Yeah.
care about Tamara getting upset because it really is like a nothing burger. Emily getting upset with Tamara about leaving her podcast, or like or Tamara being upset with her for not thanking her. Like those are just like basic manners. Like I get what Emily's saying, but I also feel like you could have at least said like thank you to Tamara and Teddy, not like you're on your knees begging, like thank you. You could have like at least just
I
acknowledged the
think
fact
it's
that
Um,
No, my god.
but thank you so much, Francisco, for joining me
Yes.
and talking, next gen. I never can remember the name, and
Next Gen NYC,
NYC, yes, and
because
Housewives of
obviously
NYC.
we're gonna get a Next Gen LA or whatever. That's why they put Nick Dubrow, like, as the MC for the party to put him. It's like subliminals that they're like, "Hey, like, this is coming," and it's like, "Who's asking for it? Are you asking for it?"
I don't want that.
Mm-mm. Nope.
Who are we gonna
But,
get on there though?
supposedly, I believe it was him. Who else? Camille Grammer's daughter. At some point, I think the one of Kyle's daughter, Kyle Richards' daughter, but I think she didn't get it because I heard somewhere that she, like, posted a TikTok about, like, not getting a job opportunity or something, but she also has, excuse me, like, selling the Beverly Hills or whatever their, Netflix show is, that it's like
Her
she's fine.
parents are she's fine.
She's fine, but
Nothing's gonna
yes.
happen.
We'll see how it goes with OC, though. I'm optimistic again. It's, we're not gonna have, Katie Janela where we're just, like, hate criming her left and right and, everyone else before that, that we'll see how it goes now that it's like, powers are restored to Vicky now that she's back at the top of the pyramid, I believe Miller
Exactly.
style.
And it feels good. It feels good. Did you wanna link your social media?
Yes, thank you. Sorry. Thank you for having
Yes.
me. Sorry, I kept diverting us from the
No,
conversation,
it's
but
fine.
yes, thank you so much for having me on talking about these crazy ass shows. But you guys can follow me on TikTok at Paco Javier, PACOOJAVIER, and on Instagram, same handle with an extra R at the end, so PACOOJAVIERR. And thank you, Aaron, for having me. And Kea, can't wait to talk to you soon. And
Yeah,
catch
she'll
up.
trust me, she'll be back soon. She'll be
So
inviting
the
you on.
comeback will be worth it.
And then I'll be talking shit about you guys because I never get invited.
Wow.
Yeah. But I was I was gonna say too, make sure you check out Francisco's TikTok because you do all the unboxings and all
Yes,
the hauls.
yes, I love a product. I love trying things out right now. We're just seeing, what's out on the market because I think right now, especially with things, rising in price, you really got to figure out what it is worth your dollars and where you can, save some money, especially, shopping at CVS and a lot of these other like smaller places and really utilizing coupons. Like there's ways to, work around the system, it feels like.
And you do a great job because a lot of the
Thank you.
times I'm like, I've never seen this before. But
It's AI, just
it's
like Gia.
just like Teresa. But all right, guys, until next time, we'll be back with the new episode soon. Stay safe, guys.
Bye.